Only one Mr. Groot here. The other Groot. Ready?
You know, these are two teams obviously don't see each other very often. A lot of talent on the ice, but Vancouver, man, they got it going last night's game.
Well, we'll come back, talk whether it's Vancouver, Edmonton, other things. Dave Reed, of course, does an excellent job on NHL Network and TSN. He will join us when we return. You're listening to NHL Morning Skate. Gord Stellick, Mike Rupp, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 91. Shake it up with Scott Farrell. Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 3 in the East on Sports Grid Radio. Scott brings his powerful voice and covers all the lines and odds for every game.
No, there's one.
Well, you could have gone. That's all right. Two-way got away now.
And on the weekends, sweat your bets with Scott and Gabe Morency on
After this, the one.
Sundays at 1 in the East. I bet on them last week and
Oh, you need to watch also this one, huh? Okay.
You better hurry then. Go. Come on. You got to make up your mind and go. You can't keep changing your mind in the middle.
We're here, right?
Yeah, that's fine, but you can't keep changing your mind in the middle. You gotta decide on a lane because you got other cars coming and they're seeing where you're going to decide where they're gonna go. So you have
that both two also is okay?
Huh?
The two line, the first one.
You could have gone the first one and turn left, but we were planning on going this way. But I mean, you gotta get your car pointed in the right direction and go the right way right away. Otherwise, it screws up the other cars around you.
Because there's a car on the back. I mean, where there's a space on the other side.
And no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection. It totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to applyethos.com to get your free online quote. That's applyethos.com. Quote based on a healthy non-smoking
right.
with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
It's Caprice off on a 101 over the offensive line. Pivot hockey comes along from the center field.
Sirius XM NHL Radio.
Left at the stop sign.
Welcome back. NHL Morning Skate. Gord Stellick.
Make sure you're stopping before the stop sign.
NHL Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 91. A colleague of Rupp's at NHL Network, also with TSN, of course, former NHLer, Dave Reed, joining us this morning. How are you doing, Dave?
Good morning, Gord. Good morning, Rupp. I'm doing well. How are you guys today?
Well, we're good. We're good. And just a lot of meat on the bone, just on and off the ice. And Rupper was giving his history of in-season coaching changes, like the St. Louis Blues have now done with Craig Berube. I know we were part of one together in Toronto that I don't know how much difference it might have made.
Just slide forward.
We lost it, right? We lose Dave. So
All right,
we'll
now stop
get him back in
again.
a
Make
second.
sure you both ways are good.
Okay.
You're gonna go
You
right.
there, Dave? Okay, there we go. That's the busy sound there. And so Rupper will ask
Want
you
to turn this late.
coaching
You're going
changes,
way
but,
over in the other lane. You
I
gotta
think
stay just in this near lane, remember?
Yeah,
Same network you
I'm
work
so
with from
over.
time to time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
left.
quite often NHL Network, and I know he's on NHL Now today, which is on 4 to 6 Eastern, so we'll be up there in Canada too. And yeah, I mean, Reader, he's up.
There you go.
Reader, the thing
That was good.
about working with Reader, and when you have certain guys like that, and we got to work with Scott Stevens for a number of years in the network too.
You know,
You're right.
when you're turning,
And it's like you can watch a play.
you also need
Like,
space.
you learn. And that's why I love
I
about this
mean-
too. Like when you're working with different guys, we all see it through different lenses. So we can watch one play and like, oh, look at this, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, but what about this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that, right? And it's interesting. I mean, the attention to details, they're a part of it. Where this guy's been on two top teams, he's seen a lot of different things, right? So I love that side, and I think a lot of teams having that defensive lens nowadays, especially in this game, will be the
30 and 35.
being a contender or not.
Well, we've got Dave Reed back, and Dave, Rupper was extolling the virtues of your expertise, and we can get to that, but I just want to talk about coaching changes. I mentioned Rupper gave his spin. I don't know how many in-season coaching changes you've had. I said we had one together in Toronto, which I don't know how much difference it made or didn't, but what's your take generally when it happens like St. Louis just did in the last few hours?
Yeah, it's difficult for everybody, the players. I think the first thing is the players, you have to look in the mirror and say, what can I do better? And it's not say, what can I do better to get somebody's job back. It's what can I do better to help our team be better so that, that the next person isn't going to lose his job, because the second coach isn't going to lose his job. It's usually the guy in the mirror who's going to have something change in his game, whether your power play time is going to diminish or maybe go off, or your PK is done, or your ice time is going to diminish. You might find yourself in the press box, and there's just little things like that. Usually there is that quick boost of because everybody has to be a lot sharper with a new coach. You're trying to, especially in your bottom line, you're trying to impress the new coach to say, look what I can do. You might have a book on me, but I can do more than what maybe you think I can do, or the opportunity that I was given from the last coach. So there's usually that boost, but as you stretch it out as a team is pretty much what it is, and a lot of times the coaching shelf life is, I think 3 to 4 years is pretty good. 5 years is exceptional, I would say, in the National Hockey League. And Greg Murphy won a Stanley Cup in St. Louis early, and he's going to get given the opportunities to get the team back to where Doug Armstrong and everybody felt it should be. So he might have got a little longer leash to play with there, but I think it's inevitable that changes are going to be made, because, let's face it, it's like you hear the same voice, you hear the same message. You're going into certain games, the joke would say, one of the keys of the game going to be saying, the fresh voice is definitely needed. Doesn't mean you guys are a bad coach, not at all. It just means that you need to be coached a little differently. And that's kind of the way it works. Reader, what's your take on, has it gotten worse in this degree where we're seeing coaches like Chief, or Chief, you could just say that Chief was probably he was a really good coach in Edmonton, and it didn't change when the salary cap came into play, because now it's harder, I feel like, to shake up your team and make trades for some teams that are capped out, and to make something impactful. So now it's like the coaches kind of move to the front of the line in some regards, or has it always been this way?
I think the parity in the league for the last few years, the teams are getting better. You get more teams in the league, and it's so important to make the playoffs. When you think about it, I started in a 21-team league. You had 16 of 21 teams made the playoffs. So you're going to change the coach. You got 5 teams don't make it, and it was usually, teams in the North Division who are going to be quite good, and the bottom team in the division was usually the bottom team in the division regularly. So now, with half the teams making the playoffs, that means that there are probably 6 to 8 teams that are going to be in the mix of making the playoffs, let's say mid-February. And it's important to make the playoffs financially for owners and for teams, because you see teams get in the 8th spot like Florida does. And they get over.
You see that one?
Yeah, awesome.
Not like a big rat.
Because more teams are in the mix, because there are more teams.
Yeah, possums do look like a big rat.
8th spot in each conference, that it's like, if the slightest little tweak needs to be made, whether we need to bring up a kid from junior to start the team, whether we need to bring up a goaltender to start the team, whether we need to change our coach to get 2 extra wins. 2 extra wins could be the difference between 8th and 10th place in the division, or in the conference, I should say. And that's the difference of getting in and out of the playoffs. So yeah, I think that it's the focus is as much on the coach, and probably they feel a lot more. And so I'm not as surprised.
So even you're not really high and low, right? Just like you can see in the front, the center. It's that
I
time.
agree 100%.
Just
Both
make
coaches,
sure you're
we're
in the
talking
middle.
about Craig Burbank and
Not
Jim
in the
Woodruff,
middle of
and
the car.
both coaches are great coaches. They're excellent coaches. But if you stick with that same guy and you keep powering for another few games, 4 or 5 games, by the time you hit Christmas right now, it could be too late. And so I think that's why the immediacy of the it's not reactionary. It's like we need to change this as fast as possible, or it's going to be too late.
Yeah, love it.
You know what, Gordon?
It's
So
just
if I could-
difficult
if
to
I could
drive
if I could just
if
get back
just
to this
one
real quickly,
way.
Gordon, 'cause I wanted to answer your question first. So
And
when you
then
started, I
not
started
enough
Peterborough
space.
in Junior 81. They fired Dave Grant at Christmas. They
Not
wow, it's over. I
not
get into
enough
Pro. I get into Pro in
space
Hershey. They
for
fired
2
Gary. I get to
cars.
Boston. They fired Jerry Teevers. I come over a few years later and church for a month. They fired Bro. I mean, it was just like I was like, oh my god. You're coach killer. You're coach killer. What the heck is going on? So early in my career, you know, I went through a lot of that, which is like a little strange to tell you the truth.
Boy, yeah, the mild-mannered Dave Reed coach killer, like you said, rougher. But and now talking to Dave Reed, joining us, Gord Stellick, Mike Rupp on NHL Morning Skate. I don't think they'll make a change in Carolina, but the coaching-wise, to say the least. Gotta love his candor with Darren Pang on the bench the other night. Now they win against Ottawa last night, but I'm just saying, loving these playoff races. I love that so many are involved, but you thought the Carolina Hurricanes wouldn't be in the thick of things. You mentioned teams have to do a thing or two. What's your read on Carolina, Reader?
This is a tough one because I still think they've got one of the best defensive groups in the National Hockey League. But they've been a little inconsistent at times, not playing the level, maybe because they played at such a high level for so long, and not playing the necessarily that high level.
Just like not in the right
I
place.
still think that they could use a little more five up front with that.
Welcome home. Kauwi na tayo sa bahay natin. Hello, baby Atu.